In Serbia, you will pay around 85,000 dinars or $800 for a decent apartment in the capital. While the average local makes exactly that amount for an entire month of labor, you will see people giving their toddlers sips of homemade 50% alcohol plum brandy called rakija to cure a simple sore throat. You will spend roughly 300,000 Serbian dinars or $2,800 just to throw a standard wedding, which is 3 times the national average salary. You will witness a culture where spending your absolute last dime at a smoky tavern to buy your friends round after round of drinks is considered the ultimate social status. Honestly, I respect that unbelievable level of financial recklessness. It is beautifully chaotic. How do you ultimately survive when your rent equals your entire monthly paycheck? What does it actually take to impress a Serbian woman when traditional macho culture clashes violently with modern dating expectations? Why do high school graduates celebrate by literally throwing themselves into city fountains on their final day? And how does a kid from a struggling working-class family navigate a system built on deep-rooted nepotism compared to a golden child from the rich neighborhoods of the capital? Let us look at 2 vastly different lives. First, we have Jelena. She is born in Belgrade, the bustling capital city. Her family is absolutely loaded. Her father owns a massive logistics company, and her mother is a high-level corporate lawyer. They live in a massive modern villa in the elite Dedinje residential area. Then we have Nikola. He is born down south in the city of Niš. His family is barely scraping by. His dad works brutal night shifts at a tire factory, and his mom is a cashier at the local supermarket. They live in a cramped 2-bedroom concrete apartment from the old Yugoslav era. We are going to track their entire existence. We will see how they get through early schooling, survive the brutal teenage exams, figure out the military, navigate a wildly unbalanced job market, find love, and eventually reach retirement in the Balkan. Country context. Serbia has a population of about 6.6 million people. The territory spans roughly 88,000 square kilometers. Your chances of being born here are exactly 0.08%. Serbians are officially some of the tallest people on planet Earth. They export massive amounts of raspberries to the global market, and they have a clock-making industry that is historically older than Switzerland. By the way, the fact they beat the Swiss at making clocks and just never ever brag about it is the ultimate alpha flex. Childhood. Jelena grows up in absolute luxury in Belgrade. She has her own massive bedroom, a garden, and her parents hire expensive private nannies. Nikola shares a tiny room with his older brother in Niš, surrounded by old, peeling wallpaper and noisy neighbors. In Serbia, kids generally start kindergarten around age 3. For Nikola, his parents put him in a state-sponsored public kindergarten. It is incredibly cheap, costing about 6,000 dinars, or $55 a month, but it is heavily crowded. Jelena goes to an elite private English-speaking preschool that costs around 65,000 dinars, or $600 a month. I mean, spending $600 every single month for a toddler to eat crayons in English is completely insane to me. But rich people will do rich things. School. At age 7, you officially start primary school. Serbia has a unique quirk here. Kids do not wear uniforms, and the school shifts completely change every single week. One week you go to school early in the morning, the next week you go in the afternoon. Preparing Nikola for public school costs about 15,000 dinars or $140 for basic books and supplies, which is a massive financial hit for his factory worker father. Jelena attends a private international school where tuition is over 1 million dinars or $9,200 a year. Nikola wakes up at 7, walks to his local neighborhood school, has 6 classes a day, and eats whatever cheap sandwich his mom packed in tinfoil. Jelena is driven right to the school door in a luxury German SUV. Nikola spends his free time playing aggressive street football on concrete pitches between communist buildings. Jelena has private tennis coaching and classical piano lessons. At the end of 8th grade, both face the brutal Matura exam. It dictates your high school, which heavily dictates your entire life. Nikola grinds hard late into the night because he knows public education is his only absolute way out of poverty. Jelena barely stresses. Her parents can comfortably pay her way into any institution on Earth. Army. Up until recently, the Army was completely voluntary, but Serbia has just officially announced a return to mandatory military service. It will last 75 days for guys exactly like Nikola. Women are not forcibly required to serve, but they can volunteer if they want. Nikola will definitely serve his time, eating standard military beans and marching in the cold mud, while Jelena will likely be spending those exact 75 days lounging on a private yacht in Montenegro. Honestly, 75 25 days is basically just a really intense summer camp. I think Nikola will actually enjoy the break from his tiny, stressful apartment. University. To get into higher education, you face fierce and highly stressful entrance exams. The state fully pays tuition for the absolute highest scoring students, which is called being on the state budget. Nikola literally has to score perfectly to get state funding at the University of Belgrade. He moves to the capital, renting a miserable, moldy room on the outskirts of the city for 20,000 dinars, or $185 a month. He survives entirely on local bakeries, eating cheap, greasy meat pies called burek for about 200 dinars, or less than $2 a day. Getting absolutely fat on $2 greasy pastry is a lifestyle I can totally get behind. Burek is absolutely god-tier food. Jelena easily pays the tuition for a prestigious private university, costing roughly 400,000 dinars, or $3,700 a year. She gets a luxury downtown apartment bought in cash by her dad. Nikola faces immense psychological pressure from his parents. They sacrificed everything just to put him there. Jelena just needs the shiny diploma for social status before smoothly taking over the family business. Career. Finding your first job is notoriously difficult here. Nepotism is huge in this country. It is all about who you actively know. Nikola spends 8 grueling months applying everywhere with zero luck. He finally lands a junior engineering job. His starting salary is around 85,000 dinars, or $790 a month. Sounds okay, right? Wrong. Rent for a normal one-bedroom currently costs 65,000 dinars, or $600. He has almost zero money left for food and transport. Jelena walks straight into a comfortable directorship at her father's firm. Her starting salary is 300,000 dinars, or $2,800. Nikola practically starves, commuting an hour by packed bus, while Jelena covers her luxury penthouse utilities with ease, and spends all the rest on designer clothes and weekend shopping trips to Milan. Seeing a highly intelligent guy like Nikola suffer just because he lacks corrupt connections is brutal, but that is the harsh reality of the Balkan job market. Love and family. Serbians are highly passionate, extremely loud, and incredibly social people. Couples usually meet at smoky traditional taverns with live music, or in bustling underground nightclubs. When dating, men are still largely expected to be the main financial providers, always paying for dinners and drinks to show their higher status. However, Serbian women look heavily at a combination of raw charisma, height, and ambition, not just pure cash. The country has slightly more women than men. Nikola struggles at first because he lacks funds for fancy dates, but his tall, dark, handsome look and sharp, sarcastic humor win over a smart local girl from his old neighborhood. Jelena dates strictly within her high-class circle, eventually marrying another wealthy corporate heir. Marriage happens around age 28. Huge traditional weddings are universally mandatory. Nikola gets totally wrecked on strong rakija, celebrating and dancing for 3 days straight. To live together, Nikola and his new wife are forced to take a horrible 30-year bank mortgage to buy a highly restrictive small flat. Jelena simply gets another massive property deed transferred directly to her name. Most families here aim to have 2 children. Maternity leave is actually completely amazing in Serbia. Mothers get a full 12 months of fully paid leave, and fathers can legally take it instead too. Honestly, the rest of the world needs to take notes on this policy right now. A whole year fully paid is phenomenal. Pension. Retirement slowly kicks in at age 65 for both men and women. The state pension is pretty notoriously bleak. Nikola will receive about 35,000 dinars, or $320 a month. After paying basic utility bills and buying his necessary medicine, he has almost nothing left. He only survives because his adult kids actively help him out, which is a very strong cultural norm here. Jelena easily gets the maximum state pension, plus she has millions in passive income from her inherited real estate empire. She spends her golden years drinking expensive espresso in the city center wearing large fur coats. Conclusion: you just saw the stark contrast between 2 very different destinies in the dynamic heart of the Balkans. Which life would you ultimately choose to live? The wild hustle and intense struggle of the working class, or the deeply detached luxury of the elite?